Hello, whiskey folk, in the words of Roy, Aqua Vitae. Bart has not joined me yet, so it's just me solo right now. I think I've got plenty to talk about, though, in the interim until Bart comes in. Hopefully he remembers. Roy, Aqua Vitae, will be going live at 4 p.m. Central, so in 1 hour. The Whiskey Rev has joined him for the weekend, so they've got some stuff they want to talk about and bring up as well. So we'll try to keep this under an hour or right at the 1 hour mark. And also a little cowbell right off the bat. Kyle Clement, $2 super chat. Thank you much, Kyle. Appreciate it. I'll kind of roll through to a little roll call for those that are joining in. Swami was here earlier, malted in Montreal, but he was at work, can't stay. Rob, Whiskey in the Six. Texas Owl. Jason Coates. Tonight's Poison. Bird Dog and Big Dog both are here. Anuj Manuja, have not seen you tune in before with a good question earlier about a solid sherry bomb. So, Killajolt is here. Steve A, the Whiskey Dick, Bill stopped by. Eric Gilbert. Whiskey Wolf, formerly known as Ebhead, is here. Jez Body. Mark Brown. McAllen Fine and Rare. Keith Corbett. Mark Slinger. The super chat from Kyle Clement. Jesse Voisin. James Hope. Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Coffee. Tony Evans. Dwayne Large. Hi, Dwayne. How you doing? Moose 76. Lolo.0. Christine Deems. Chad Adams and Prod Icy. Haven't seen you tune in before. Thanks for everybody that's tuning in. So, and what I should have done first off was pulled up our brackets. Let me resend an email to Bart. Recipients to, and I bet I know what happened. No, our medic Sunday. Try again. The brackets. Bracket one. I should have pulled up our list of what was where, and let me see if I can find it real quick. I do have photos, I believe. Give me a second. Is that what I wanted? Let me see. Sherry shootout. Bracket one. All right. In bracket one, we had McAllen edition number 4. We had the Hazelburn 13, Balvenie 15 single barrel sherry cask, and the McAllen 12. Minimize that so I can pull it back up. A lot of questions come up. I've got them sitting right here, the Glendronach 15 and the Glendronach 18. The 15 I pulled in as a wild card. It did pretty well overall. I was surprised. I really thought they would both show better. Maybe it's in a lot of comments, concerns about the different ABVs. Maybe that's a factor. And James Hope just comments. So moving on to the champion, of course, we'll have a little bit of talk about that. The Tomatin PX from the distillery only. Bart's got to restart his computer. Nothing's coming through on it. The Tomatin, James Hope, he just checked. He's got the same Tomatin PX cask that we had that won the championship, but he got it a few months earlier, and the ABV was slightly different, and it was only 15 years old. So what happened with it, the visitor center pulls in the cask. The cask is sitting right there in the visitor center. they've got 5 different ones that you can choose from. So you go pull right from that cask. Well, the PX cask, the one that we pulled from, had, when they brought it into the visitor center, it was 14 years old. So it'd been sitting there for 2 years, continuing to age as people were drawing from it. And I think we probably got the last barrel or the last bottle or one of the last bottles out of the barrel. It was very good. It's very delicious. I'm sure won't ever be replicated again. And really, I threw that bottle in as an oddball. We had Macallan's, we had Glendronach's, Glenfarclas, Abelauer, Glengoyne's, Hazelburn, SMWS, and threw the Tomatin in there, just see how it does. And surprisingly, it did very well. Let me go back up a little bit. James Hope, Andrew Renner is here. Whiskey Wolf, formerly known as Ebhead, Tom R, Russell. I think I got everybody up to them. There's Barto. Just going through, blabbering a little bit, filling time until you came in.
Oh, it was weird. I had to do a whole restart for some reason.
Maybe you should have got there early and you would have noticed there was a problem.
I was waiting on your email and I thought, well, is he delaying? And then I decided that, well, let me look at my phone and see if you sent a message like maybe you had a turkey bone stuck in your mouth. And then I saw your deal where you're like, send it. And I'm like, I ain't getting it. And then I checked my phone email and I'm like, well, why is it coming through on my phone email, but not on the Mac? There you go. And of course, the wife leaves, is like, watch the grandson and the 2 boys. And I'm like, So we got the 11-year-old watching everybody. We'll see how well that works. So he's good. He's good. Also known as Sippy Cup.
Yeah, that's right. Bart, do you have the Tomatin with you?
You want me to go grab it? What do you want to know off of it?
Well, I was just looking. Someone did comment. Macallan Fine and Rare says the label in the video showed it was distilled in September of 2002. Yeah, so when we pulled it this summer, or towards the end, it was in the fall actually, 2018. Would have made it a 16-year.
Right.
Yeah. It was if I remember right, because we had Scott on from Tomatin Distillery in the visitor center.
Mm-hmm.
The barrels were sitting there behind him.
Yeah.
But that PX cask one had been there. I believe he'd said 2 years had been sitting there. So continuing to age.
Yeah. And it took a while for them. It was like near the bottom of the barrel. I was waiting for them to tip it up.
Roy is going live at 4:00 as well. Bart, I told him we would be under an hour or right at the hour mark.
We're stepping all over Roy, baby. We're staying all the way through. We're going to put up a hate campaign. Don't go see Roy. No, yeah, we'll drop out. You know what? We are close to. We're like, how many? 29, 28 new subscribers away from hitting 10,000.
We are 21 away. We're at 99.79. If you are watching us right now and you are not subscribed, click.
Do it.
We don't say it that often, but click that subscribe button.
Yeah, we'd love to hit that before 2019, and we only got, a day and a half.
I think if we don't hit it today, tomorrow for sure. The 10K mark.
I say if you're watching now and you haven't subscribed, subscribe and put it out on Facebook and tell people how awesome we are.
Call your mom, sign into her accounts, click subscribe.
That's right. All of a sudden your wife is signed in and subscribed and she's getting all her feeds. She'll know what to buy you for every holiday, anniversary, and birthday.
For anybody that's tuning in, you see tonight's Poison commenting. That's Jazz. He started a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
He's really big on Instagram.
Huge.
He's been doing lives on Instagram. He wants to come over and start doing his lives on his YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. I walked him through the process the other night. I don't know if he's tried it. Jazz, if you need anything, make sure you holler at me. Or maybe you've tried it and it's worked now for you. So, Whiskey in the Six is tuning in now. Christmas on Crestline. Scott, My Bourbon Journey. Air McFault. I think I've about called Welsh Toro. Sipper Social Club. So anyway, bracket 1 I had pulled up, Bart, was Macallan number 4, the Hazelburn 13, Balvenie 15-year single barrel sherry cask, and the Macallan 12. Some people had commented how poorly the Macallan 12 did. I think is to be expected, just with there was a lot of heavy hitters in there, a lot of stuff that's aged longer, a lot more really sherry punches.
Right.
That Macallan 12 just fell out of. You know what I liked overall, though? I would tell people, Bart, is that there really wasn't one to me that stood out that was bad in the lineup. As you're tasting it and you go, ooh, that one. I mean, I know you said it about 100 times, the sour ones you didn't like.
Just 102. Yeah, I don't like the sour.
The Hazelburn you picked out, you got the Springbank funk to it.
Yeah, got a little bit of sour funk.
Yep, in the lineup.
Yep. And I love how that Mac number 4 edition was so good. And you know what? We need to try, what is the 5th edition out yet? I think.
No.
Ooh, look at that. I didn't want to pull the Tomatin one in here because I was afraid I'd want to sample it.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I'm trying to only sample that when you're around. Otherwise, you could show up and be like, what the hell? And it'd be like a fight. We'd have a fight. We'd have a rumble. So I'm staying far, far away. And I even went for a little peated action. Little Douglas Lang peated action. And it's got the beard, and I can touch it. I can touch the beard.
Well, okay, what I did not have in time for this shootout was I got for Christmas, or one of my Christmas bottles is an Edredauer single cask. It's a 14-year-old sherry bomb as well, which is what I'm enjoying. It's really a little bit finer, a little bit more intricate. I don't know how it would have held up in there, just because it is good. There's a lot of sherry, but it's kind of like the Hazelburn 13. There's not funky, but it's just a really delicate, nice sherry.
Right.
I don't know how to put it, but
yeah. Did you mention that I didn't enjoy the sour ones?
Yeah, you did. Now,
yeah.
What I do have, though, in an old Blue Label bottle, this is the Infinity bottle, the leftovers from the sherry shootout.
Ooh.
So now what's an ounce from? Well, there's an ounce from each bottle.
You were only able to make one Infinity?
Yeah. Well, a couple of them only had a little. Well, I used an ounce from each bottle. So that's 16 ounces.
Okay.
And a couple of the bottles just had a little bit left, so I poured them in there. But then I added an ounce of Glendronach 21.
Wow.
Glengoyne 21, and an ounce of this Edredauer single cask.
And then I was going to get to hold on to that, I believe. I'm going to hold on
to it. Sure.
Bottle. I'm going to hold on to it. How does it taste?
I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to do that before we get done.
Ooh, yeah, I'm curious. There may be sour notes.
Thanks, Rob.
Hold on.
Whiskey in the
talking. Six. Yeah, let me mute because I did not pull up the chat. The chat box. So
you got it. Super chat from Rob over at Whiskey in the Six. $13.99. Hit the like button. Get this video boosted to get these gens to 10K. Thanks, Rob. I'll call out real quick while Bart's pulling up the chat box. Some of the other guys that are tuning in with whiskey channels. Whiskey Jason is tuning in from Germany. Rob up in Canada. Malted in Montreal was in here earlier. We've got scrolling back through. Of course, Jazz with tonight's Poison. Check out his channel. Scott at My Bourbon Journey. Wes Jolly is here. I hadn't seen him earlier. He does not have a YouTube show, but he's a writer for Whiskey Blog.
Jolly! I had to unmute for that.
Scrolling back through to see, usually Jason over at Mash and Drum is tuning in. I don't see him necessarily yet. Jeremy Sipper Social Club is tuning in. Check out his channel.
Whiskey Ace. I've never been a hater of the sherry. It just doesn't have my number like the island of Isla.
You know, though, I really thought you did real well with the sherry shootout, and was even excited, especially during the championship. Someone thought we had already shot a couple of videos and was a little juiced by the time we got around to the championship.
No, we were not. I think we had one warm-up dram, didn't we? Of something before we started filming, but it wasn't a lot.
Just had, like a half ounce just to wet the palate, really kind of get a little whiskey on the palate and get the engine started.
Not juiced. We were not juiced or lubricated or anything, but that was fun. I mean, the finals are fun. And those were, well, as you saw, you even had to heavily edit because I was stuck for a while.
Well, that the unedited, would it come in at 29 minutes?
I think so, because there was a lot of me going back and forth, back and forth.
It was 48 minutes long, Bart.
What?
It was 48 minutes long.
No way.
That's
when we were going through the thing at the end.
Well, some of it, you were in rare form on some of it. You got yourself cut out of some. You would have been yelling at yourself if you were doing the editing.
Really? I noticed you had some edits in there. I was like, what did I just say? I think I just had a golden nugget in there.
There was one time where you were stuck. And the water bottle was in play. It was getting crinkled. You were drinking. You were eating a cracker. You was talking about games. I can't remember. Something come up that just was for about 5 minutes. That was nothing. I'm like, out. Delete.
Board game. Probably a great board game discussion that the fans will never know about now.
I do have a revelation to make too, real quick to everybody, and hopefully it doesn't affect anything with the show. But I had to go to the doctor the other day.
What? Holy moly! You trying to copy me?
Had to get some glasses finally. Almost 49 years old. Made it quite a while, actually.
Yeah, you've usually had 2015 vision. Hold on, somebody said something and said just teasing Bart, and I missed the teasing part. So I can't see it. It's scrolled down. Let me
see. Whiskey Ace. He says he's just teasing you.
Yeah.
He says you sound like you were converted by sherry.
Oh yeah. That's it.
And Eric Gilbert is telling me to crack that sucker now on the infinity bottle.
Yeah, you should.
I'm going to do that, but when this one's done, I'll be cracking that one. So
I'm curious, very curious on that.
But yeah, there was a lot of oohing, there was a lot of awing, there was a lot of smacking. Even me, I was stalled at one point.
It was tough.
That was a tough bracket. And I would tell anybody, everything that was in that championship bracket is an excellent. To me, overall, that whole 16 bottles, there's not a one of those bottles that I would pour out, or not buy again.
Wouldn't pour out. There were a few folks coming in saying, oh, great, you picked number one and nobody can get it unless you go to the distillery. You had a great comment, though. Look at number 2 or 3 or 4. I mean, they're phenomenal. There's not a loser in that bunch, including the wild card, which I can't believe I'd picked the Abuna. And that's one of my favorite. That was probably my biggest eye opener looking at it in once it went live or once we knew what everything was. I would have thought the Abuna would have come out even higher. It's so juicy and flavorful when I go to it. I mean, obviously it still did well, but the 105, the way I kept picking that one, that was a surpriser. I don't have that on the shelf. It will be. It will be. Sorry, you need to edit that out. I talked for a long time there. That was a long.
That was good. No, you're all right. Just a couple comments that had come in, questions, and that's the reason I pulled them up here. We'd already had a couple comments, questions come in about the Glendronach 15 that we used. This is an old bottling. It's the 15 years exclusive Oloroso. what surprised me was how I think it fared better than the 18-year did, which I've always said I like the 18 better.
See, I think I've always liked the 15 a little better. That was my favorite because didn't we have the 12, 15, and 18 when we did a little sample? Huh?
No, that was the Glengoyne.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. And this one was bottled in 2013. I'm looking, the one that we used. I've got a couple bottles still of the original Glendronach 15.
Mixed up my Glens.
Yeah.
It was in a different Glen. Ooh, look at that. De Geest, he's playing us on his 55-inch 4K.
Ooh.
Yeah. You're not quite seeing us in 4K. You're getting us at 1080p. Ooh, Bart's face will undoubtedly be bigger than mine. Yeah, that's right. I'm a little shaded here. I don't know. I got to back up or something. It's weird. I'm not getting the same kind of lighting. Let me see what I got to do here.
Well, and Russell has a good point, too. We talked about it right at the end of the championship, and that is that the NAS drams
hold on
really well.
Look how you just did that. Like you're a pro with the glasses.
Like
you
what?
The glasses, you took them off as you made your point, and it got my attention. Like, here comes a nugget of truth.
Yeah, like I've had these since Friday. I'm already a professional.
Oh, you're a pro. I had to pause. I was like, stop what you're doing. This guy's getting ready to say something important. See, I'm so blind, I can't take them off like that. I'd be like, I can't see nothing now.
Yeah, they're just the prescription is like one eye is like -10 and the other's -15 or something. There's barely any correction needed.
Oh my God. I've had Coke bottles since I was about 12.
Yeah, it's more like the doctor's just like, if you're at the computer and you're reading, you might want them anytime you feel like you need them, grab them. But anyway, Russell brought up what we did at the very end of the championship, and that is how well the NAS drams really did when you looked at that championship round.
Mm-hmm.
The Glengoyne cast strength was in there. The Macallan Classic cut was in there.
Right.
Abelauer Abunad, Glenfarclas 105.
Right.
Those were 4 that really started us talking about doing a sherry shootout.
Yeah, that Glenfarclas 105. That was probably my biggest shocker. I mean, I wondered how the Tomatin would go, but as everybody mentioned, I thought it would probably do well. It's literally from the cask, so there's no watering down. It's got that extra time in there. It's 16 years. And so I actually thought going in, I bet you that'll do well. I actually thought I'd be able to pick it out easier and maybe even call it by name. I can never call it by name. I was never, the Stranahans is the only one I can do that with. But that Glenfarclas 105, wow. Go get that. Put them glasses back on. I want you to make a point and take them back off. Be like, boom.
I do. Like I say, all 16 bottles were good. There wasn't one. Even the Stranahans being the most different and being the American single malt, to me, is still a good dram. When you put it up against the Scottish barley, it shows the differences.
Sure. Look at this. Artist, he says, when you take the glasses off, you need to arch one brow, instant sophistication. Ooh, wow. That's like that's your fart acting.
Smell the fart acting.
Yes.
So anyway, just before we went live, we got a comment on YouTube on the championship. Let me find it. I had it. From John Tedrow. And he says, I was winning the bidding on your winning choice at auction. So that's the Tomatin PX Distillery exclusive. He says, and now the price has gone through the roof. He says, you guys are influencers.
You bastards. That's what he's saying. I had that one. Nobody knew it was good. And then you guys got to do your sherry, your very sherry Christmas, and bastards, is what he's saying. You SOBs.
Mark Goins just placed an order for some coins. He's asking for 688. I don't know if you're watching, Mark, but 688 is not available. Sorry. We're up past that already.
Yeah. We've been moving through those. Darn near about time to do a reorder.
No, we're at the same time limit of the last batch.
Mm-hmm.
And we have about 200 coins left, which is we ordered 250 extra.
Right.
So we've sold about the same pace as we did the last time. We just have the extras that we placed the order for this time left. So
interesting. That's interesting.
Peter White says the 105 has a 10-year age statement in Canada. I believe that is an old bottling, unless they've kept it up. Originally, the 105 used to have a 10-year age statement. I thought they had done away with that for the non-age statement one.
Pete Head cowbell, baby. Pete Head cowbell.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That's from Dwayne. Dwayne Large, $10 super chat. Thanks, Dwayne.
We need
he
to
says, hi, Scott and Bart. Thanks for another great year of shows, both live and taped. Congrats again on the 5th anniversary earlier this year. Best wishes for a wonderful whiskey year in 2019.
We need to hang with the large.
Yes. I think we will at some point.
Yeah. I just want I want to drop the Dwayne and just call him the large. I'm a big fan of nicknames. Just be like, the large is in the house. And people are like, what? What did that talk I say?
Oh, Mark Goins is tuning in. He says, boo. Sorry about that, Mark. Give me a couple more requests if you have them.
Yeah, he said 788.
Well, wait a second. I'll tell you what I'll do, Mark.
Ooh, hold on. He's gonna sign one or something.
Right here's coin 718. I think that one will be going out to Mark Goins.
There you go. But he seems to like the 88 theme. You might want to check on that.
Well, the only one we wouldn't have any left because we don't have 788.
That's right. What did we stop at? 50? 750?
Yeah.
That's right.
Gary Reebok is tuning in. I haven't seen you before, Gary. He says he's sitting on a Macallan number 4 unopened. It's a good bottle. It really surprised me in the shootout. It really did.
Yeah, it is. I want that too.
And mainly I didn't know when we reviewed it, when I bought it. I loved it. Thought it was very good. I've gone next to the edition number 1 with it. Mm-hmm. There's very, very minor differences. I thought it's really close to the edition number 1. But you always wonder, how would it have done? Did me knowing that it's a Macallan influence how I felt about it?
Right.
And I think now, obviously not, when it does as well as it did in the shootout. And it comes in, even though I recognized it as a lower ABV, in the championship, I'm calling. I said, well, this one's delicious. It's just a lower ABV. It's very good, blah, blah, blah.
Alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and coffee. Hello. He wants to know what our feelings are on caramel coloring additive and chill filtration, I believe is what he had on there. So you and I prefer things straight from the cask if we can get it. So obviously I don't really want any coloring added. It happens with a lot of my Islas. I prefer it's not added, but we're deep in the whiskey hobby and I don't care about coloring. I know a lot of folks want, the same coloring throughout a big bottle batch. Chill filtration. Some drams I like that clean, crisp, light, but I love those thick oilies. I even want char in there. So, I would prefer not to have chill filtration, but personally, even those with it, I just want them to put on there if they do it or not, with that bottle. So, up front.
Real quick, shout out to Alan, the whiskey friend. Thanks for tuning in. Jazz is asking if coin 714 is available. I show that it still is. And then on that topic of the coloring and the chill filtration, again, I agree. I would prefer that they don't do it. It doesn't affect my buying decisions at all. I'm buying based on preference. What am I at the store for? What's new? What's out? What's getting good reviews? Whatnot. So it doesn't influence my buying decisions anyway.
Right. Because I know there's a bunch of Islas I like that caramel coloring is added. you know, like I said, I learned early on with the one that made me the peat head from Compass Box, which was the Peat Monster. And we were rookies then, but I was prejudging it because it was so clear. And Scott literally said, "Shut up and try it." And then I was like, "Oh my God." And he's like, "Mm-hmm, mm-hmm." And at that point, I quit judging whiskey by its color. That was about 4 years ago.
Da Wee is asking, is that a wooden Glencairn behind you? This was done by Sip Dark. They did a Kickstarter to fund this. They did these wooden, and I wouldn't call it a Glencairn, although it's shaped like one. They actually got in trouble. I think Glencairn sued them because of it.
Are they still able to put out the wooden cup? And they just
No, I don't think so.
They got in trouble for the shape even?
Yep. Yeah.
Got it. Well, you've got a keepsake there, brother.
So they were doing a while back, just a few weeks ago, I got a notification they were doing there was another wooden glass that they were doing. So
maybe they'll call that one a wee Glencairn and see how that goes.
Thanks, Swami. Malted in Montreal.
Swami.
$2 Canadian super chat. Happy New Year's, Tony Stark and Manga Man later. Ooh, actually trimmed. Yeah. Well, he was calling me Tony Stark the other day with my goatee, but I've trimmed it down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's see who else is tuned in. Graham Stewart has tuned in recently. The Whiskey Life, Car Cigars, Scotches and Watches. Thomas S. Sean Hardesty is here. Myself. I thought I was already here.
Yeah. We will definitely be drinking in the ring in the new year.
I got to call out myself's comment, though, from earlier. He says, I drink too much without whiskey. I gave my doctor a urine sample, and there was an olive in it.
Oh, boy. I was actually watching a deal on medieval cooking because, I like to watch obscure things, which you mock. But they somehow moved to the point that physicians at the time would part of their job was to taste your urine if they were your physician. And but they did cover they had something called the honey disease, which guess what that is? Diabetes. Because you can't process the sugars that would come out of the urine, and they would immediately suggest they start avoiding stuff with sugar and sweets in it. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, that actually is. Doug Chrisope just came in. Howdy, Doug.
He was stunned. Whoa, that actually is something
that
interesting.
Was actually pretty interesting, yeah.
It started with drinking urine, but
Craig Bissett is here. Haven't seen you before, Craig. Thanks for tuning in. He says, to color or not to color, I don't care. Only thing I care about right now is that I'm not getting a dram for Hogmanay on this manky oil rig.
Oh,
that's too bad.
Yeah, but he's on
a whiskey, or you already drank it all.
I don't know. Jason Coates actually watched the same episode I just referenced. It's a show. I can't remember the name of it, or I'd plug it. The guy's got a lot of subscribers. Tonight's poison, baby.
Oh,
ring a ding,
ring a ding ding.
Instagram superstar.
Thanks, Jazz. Appreciate that. 714 will be reserved for you. I'll type that in there right now. Matter of fact.
Boom. A little bit more Douglas Lang going down.
I'm going to be pouring the Infinity bottle.
Yeah, I want to have at least a sample out of that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What? What are you doing?
I'll give you a sample of Macallan 12. Be like, that's it.
Well, the Mac 12 is good too. I remember I hadn't had the Mac 12 for like 3 years, and then you and I were at a little sub office thing, and they were like, hey, all we got is Mac 12. And we were like, well, that's good. And then I was like, this is really good. This is tasty. I couldn't believe that was just sitting around in a cupboard. I was like,
Okay, so for those that weren't here earlier, this is an ounce of all the bottles left over from the Sherry Shootout. It is not Johnny Walker Blue Label. It's just an old bottle I had. I thought that would be fitting for it.
That is fitting.
I did add an ounce of Glendronach 21, Glengoyne 21, and an Edredauer 14-year single cask that I have.
I want to see you like do a whole spit take when you try it. I've ruined it.
Now I know though too, this will probably get better as it marries for a while. I just did this, I think Friday night, so it's only been a day and a half that it's been married together in the bottle.
I think I need to sneak 2 ounces of hard-baked tin in there and see what happens. Boom.
Ugh, that'd ruin the whole thing.
Oh, I'd take it over, baby.
It wouldn't ruin it. Well, it would get rid of.
Yeah, and I wouldn't do that to you. Just 2 ounces of hard bag, I'd be like, nah, it's perfect. And you'd be like, what the hell? Who put peanut butter in my chocolate?
GCap is tuning in now. He says, so too much sherry whiskey causes you to need glasses. Nope, just getting old. Don McClure is here now. Thomas McCrory.
He already takes those glasses off when he's making a crucial point. It's impressive.
Maximiliano Waldman is tuning in. He says that Infinity must be in the next shootout. This Infinity would probably. Let's see.
Yeah, Chad Adams.
Know how it is.
Chad Adams says you got to tell me no matter what it tastes like, you got to say there's a lot of a little sourness. Yeah, a little sour. Bart won't like it.
You won't like this. Yeah, there's a lot of sour in there. Oh my, that is tasty. Ooh. You know, there was probably an ounce. No, it was just under an ounce was left of the winter, the Tomatin PX distillery.
No, I even tried to get you to pour that back into the main bottle.
Yeah, you were like, don't do that, and I'll just dilute it. I can taste it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, I was like, why put that
so
in?
rich? It's so powerful. I'm getting that dark chocolate and the coffees and the caramels.
Yeah, Russell says, Bart, even half an ounce of hardbeg would change that Infinity bottle entirely. It would never be the same again. Just like me. Make that Infinity bottle like me.
That is, yeah. That is well worth it. That is very good. Very good.
Dahl Wee says adding Ardbeg would be like adding cola or Coca-Cola to it. No. Ardbeg's like the dream whiskey.
I like Dahl Wee.
Yeah, Dahl Wee and you got something in common. Let's see. Amy's got 4 thumbs up. Go, Amy.
Well, I haven't checked our numbers. Let's see what we're doing.
Yeah. Oh, I did notice you had to cut out the little. We did a pre-thing where I showed, and I didn't bring it in. I showed our Christmas card again, and then Toon Van Rouge had sent us a Christmas card, and that was going to be a little front end bumper, but obviously that was too long for you to fit in there.
I completely forgot. I had it in there as well.
Oh,
and I meant to go look to see how long it was going to be, but I also realized though you had that card from Toon. I had one here as well from Bird Dog and Big Dog, and so then I was like, well, I hate to throw Toons in there and not have Big Dog and Bird Dogs, and they're tuning in or they were here earlier. So,
all right,
thanks for the Christmas cards.
Well, we'll have to do a little deal where we show them or something because I like getting those. I like the stamp on it, everything. It's all over from Europe. Love it.
And actually, if Richie Z tunes in, I haven't seen him yet. He sent us both samples as well, 2 different bourbons, one for you, one for me for Christmas.
Nice. Tom R is doing any cooking today? This is, I guess he's asking GCAP. Sorry. Whiskey Jason, Germany.
All right, I don't want to, but I'm going to add a drop of water.
Oh, really?
Bart says, what are you adding a drop of water for? You said you weren't going to.
Kilhoman is.
I said I didn't want to.
Chad says Kilhoman's where it at. That is true. I picked up a bunch of Kilhomans. I'm really digging them. Yeah, we got to start drinking more sherry. That is true. Yeah. We need to buy some sherry.
Well, we were talking to Monique Houston. We hope to have her on a live stream someday. She is in the sherry cask importing business. And that was her point exactly. If you like sherried whiskeys, drink sherry wine because not very many people are drinking it now, and it's leading to a decline in the amount of sherry casks that are available.
Yeah, well, bodegas or whatever.
So if you like sherried scotches, sherried whiskeys, buy some sherry to help the industry out.
But you said the sherry prices are great, I think, right now too, because they're not highly sought after, and you can get some really good sherries. I think it's the same as with some of those Armagnacs. There's some really good Armagnacs out there.
Craig Bissett wants to know what Cousin Shane is up to these days. We need another song. Yeah, we do. Cousin Shane was mad we didn't bring him back for the Metallica when we did the blackened whiskey.
Ooh, he would have loved that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is true. I should have thought of that. He would have been good on that.
Yeah, and Oliver Trehuevas has a good point. He says, buy different ones, meaning cherries, to educate your palate too. A lot is out there. We did that originally. I mean, we had probably been we've been on YouTube now for a little over 5 years, but probably about 6 to 8 months in, I think. And it was a cheaper sherry that we tried. It was one that you had from Missouri, I think.
Yes.
But we were like, what's sherry about? Let's try it. Yeah, and so actually, though, that led us to buying a port, which we then tried later to see. So, yeah, I'd advocate that. I'd say if you haven't bought sherry or port, I'm trying to think of any of the other wine caskings that's going right now. That
there's in bourbon, there's some cognac finishes.
Yeah, cognacs, brandy.
Yeah, I would even the brandy, the Armagnacs, the cognacs. I think a lot of people know this already, though. There's some rum cask finishes, especially with the Balvenie 14 year. There's some great rums out there. Now you got to watch your rums a little bit. But there's some wonderful rums out there. What was that? Those ones that you have, they were sitting on the right hand, over your left shoulder.
Foursquare. They're still there. I picked up a new one.
Sorry, right shoulder.
They're down there.
Gotcha. Yeah, those were unbelievably good. So, and then even what Scotch Malt Whiskey Society is doing with their rums. So I think there's going to be some cool little exploration there. Or there is already, obviously. We're just getting exposed to it.
Let's take a look at bracket 2 real quick. We got about 17 minutes left if we get off of here. So hit those guys over to Aqua Vitae.
Yeah, hit those different brackets.
Let's see. Let's move to bracket 2. Macallan Classic Cut.
Bird Dog said Nutty Sherry sounds like a girl he once knew.
Bracket 2 is Macallan Classic Cut, which was the 2017 edition. It had the Glenfarclas 105, the Stranahan's, and Glendronach 15.
Yeah.
So that's bracket 2. That's where Glendronach 15 I liked, and I pulled that in as my wild card. I could tell it was good. To me, the Macallan Classic Cut stood out over the Glenfarclas, and then the Stranahan's being easily recognizable. Bart, you pulled the Glenfarclas in from that round.
Yep, we differed a little bit on that one, although I think we both called out the Stranahan's. It was definitely unique. It's funny because it's like when you take a multiple option test, quiz. Go with your first instinct, because as soon as I tasted it, I was like Stranahan's, and then I was like, well, is it Westland? You're like, dude, Westland's not even in it. I'm like, oh my god. So that was a fun one. Now, what about bracket 3?
Yeah, but then again, looking at that one, 2 of the non-age statement cast strengths are what we both advanced, me being the Macallan Classic Cut and you the Glenfarclas. So moving to bracket 3, we had the Glenrothes single cask. We had the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society Dark of the Abyss, which was a Glentockers. It was 63.49. An 11-year-old Glentockers, and really very similar to the Tomatin. I got a lot of the same notes, and when we shot bracket 3, I remember thinking this was that Tomatin PX because of the dark notes.
What's the ABV again? Because you called it out as a high ABV.
Oh, it's 60.6. Yeah, I mean, any of your Scotch malt whiskey societies are high. But yeah, that one really surprised me and did well. And I remember we shot bracket 3, and I was like, oh, that's the Tomatin PX distillery there. It's got the dark notes, it's got the coffee, the toffee, the chocolate. And then we got into bracket 4, which had the Tomatin, and I'm like, oh my God, I think that's the Tomatin. I thought the Tomatin was in bracket 3.
You looking over your shoulder and being like, I think it's that. And you're like, these are good. So yeah, you were all over that. I forget what did I pick in bracket 3 because I did not go with the SMWS bottle. Well, was that when I picked the 105?
No, that was bracket 2.
That's right.
I just closed it out. What was the other choices? I'm trying to find it again. Where do I want? No, we don't want that.
We don't even know what we have in front of us. So
here we go. You chose your wild card was the Abelauer Abuna, which was in there, and then the Glengoyne cask strength you called out was your favorite on that one. So again, 2 of the non-age statement cask strength releases. And I'd have to go watch to see that Glenrotha single cask is a 14-year. I'd like to try that again, see which one I put that up against that it lost out. Because that one is very good.
Extremely.
Where are we at on our comments? We got anything coming in?
Let's see. I just saw the last one, Bart. I'm just poking the bear. That sounds dirty. I don't know the reference. Yeah, I don't know the reference that comes from. I'm looking back up here. That was let me see. Well, I can't find it.
I think we need to go live on Sunday afternoons more often. We got 115 people watching.
There you go. Well, here it is. Sorry. Hope you have a happy New Year, Scott. Oh, Bart 2. Saying crazy 12. No, you're good. Poke the bear, baby. Poke the bear.
So yeah, I was looking at pulling in 16 bottles. You know, I had 12, 13, 14 that were pretty readily available that were out there. And it's kind of like, what else do we do? That's when I was like, let's throw in the American single malt being the Stranahan's. Let's throw in a Scotch Malt Whiskey Society bottling just to see how it does. You know, and then that Tomatin PX as well. It's kind of like, well, they're oddballs, but let's throw them in there and see how they do.
Apparently poking the bear is a felony in Nebraska.
Mark Brown wants to know how we pulled in the wild cards. It's kind of, I call it not necessarily the wow factor, but it's as you're going through a bracket. If I've got 2 that are just really good and I'm like, I cannot decide between these 2, you know, which one is it? Usually that's going to be my in the running for my wild card.
Well, and then
I just remember as I go through which one really kind of stood out, which one seemed better, which one do I want to pull in. You muted, Bart. There you
go. Sorry. My screen went black and I tapped and ended up muting. For me, the wild card was well beforehand. You don't even have to use it, but if you ever have 2 that are so close because a bracket just is so overpowered, you can draw something in. And even on this one, we're like not 100% sure we'll have that wild card in there, but if we feel the need, you can pull it in. So, and that way, if you end up with an overpowered bracket, which we learned that we had when we did some of the peated ones, you don't get something eliminated that is maybe an overall number 2. You can pull it in. I thought what happened that was nice here with our wild cards, they still did well, but it showed that they weren't going to hang. I think did Abuna come in 3rd for me, I think, or maybe
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. They still did well, but it was nice. I mean, you didn't see them. Again, we didn't know what we had exactly, which bracket was which. They're all blind in there, and he's pouring mine, I'm pouring his. So the way they fared, I thought that was perfect. That we'd made the good original call just pulling them back in and giving them a second shot.
Daw Wee is asking if there were any whiskeys which were not included because we couldn't get our hands on them, but you wish you could have, and added them to the contest. 2 bottles that I got for Christmas I didn't have at the time this started. One I've had in the past is the Glendronach 21. I would have loved to have it in the shootout. I haven't had it before. I also ordered at the same time a Glengoyne 21, which I got, and it's very good as well. Those 2 I think would have been good to have in the shootout.
JD wants to know if they can expect another tournament for March Madness.
I think so, but what will it be? I don't know.
Yeah, we got to sit and talk. We've got a few people make suggestions. If you guys want something, float them across. We can't promise we'll do them, but
I like that trend. It started with March Rye Madness and then March Peat Madness.
Oh, the bourbon. We did the rye, then a bourbon, then the 3 different peat ones, and now a sherry.
The bourbon wasn't part of the March.
Well, we did it later though.
Yeah.
I mean, we did it later because it was so fun. They were popular. And we found out we learned a lot. Look at that. Aquavite is dropping some pounds, and he wants us to get off at 4 o'clock as well.
$4.99. Get the hell off the airwaves.
That's right. That's right.
Thanks, Roy.
Yep.
Always a gentleman.
Go Duff. We will clear a couple minutes before 4 o'clock, and everybody go over to his show.
Yep. Yeah, I see JD now. I hadn't seen him before. The Malt Land is tuning in, saying crazy. South Dakota dude is in. Brolic Whiskey is here. Keith Corbett. There was another, let's see, let me find, there's another comment up here I was going to address real quick. Bart.
Good, and then hit that 4th bracket, and then we can get out.
Oh, Whiskey Ace. He asked, any thoughts on how a bottle that wasn't fully matured won? When we had that one, okay, that started with Tomat, and we had little samples that they sent us from the cast in the visitor center. Even when we had it, now usually Oloroso and PX, I can tell a difference on. Oloroso just comes off darker, drier, not as sweet. When we had it, I would have sworn it was Oloroso instead of PX. I would have sworn that it was exclusively matured because it is so rich and so dark.
Right.
If I remember right, though, Scott told us, Scott Adamson, that had been 10 years bourbon, and then it had been in a PX cask for 4 years until they moved it into the visitor center where it sat aging until we got our bottle 2 years later. And so I don't know how that, honestly, and usually a double casking, you can tell. I don't know what's going on with that one, but it was really, it's gorgeous. It is a great, and a couple people have bottles from that cask or bottles from the visitor center. They absolutely love them.
Yep. Brolic Whiskey says Roy's going live soon. Yes, he's going live at 4. So we'll hand you off in about 3 minutes. Everybody fly over there to his show.
I think he needs to give us a little bit more money if he wants us off the air at 4.
Maybe pick $4.99. This is like 4. So we remembered the number 4. 99. Let's see. Guess I'll push mine back. Oh, I guess Brolic was getting ready to do his own show. So is what it was. He's saying is push his back.
Brolic Whiskey got lucky. Well, I don't know if they got lucky or what, but they had done the McGregor's Proper 12 review there. I think they were the first to get that one up, and that thing exploded. Yeah. Which brings up real quick. I better bring up before we go. Food Quig, Bart. I don't think you know this. Food Quig had a video hit 1 million views the other day.
Holy moly! What, did he take his shirt off?
It was one of his first videos.
Woo!
It's been posted for 3 years, I think. He says he's like, well, I'm going to review Lefroy 10. It's one of my favorites. Everything's a mess behind me because my woman's leaving me. She's moving out. And so he's sitting there reviewing. She comes in, she's messing around. Then she's like, bye, see ya. He's like, bye. He goes back. So somebody found it and posted it, Reddit, CNN, Fox News, I don't know where.
Wow.
And so Food Quig is there. Aquavite gave us
Another $1.99.
That'll do it. That's enough.
That's a reminder. You got 2 minutes.
And Mr. Lewis.
Oh, Jim coming in.
$10. Thank you. Thanks, guys. That's awesome.
Wow. So it got put on CNN and then he's got 1 million views.
Yep.
That's funny. Because his ex is leaving him right there and he's see you later.
Yep.
All
right, well, let's wrap it. Oh, let's look at bracket 4 real quick. We're gonna have to let's see. That's not what I want. Bracket 4.
Dawee says you guys should ask Tomat for some benefits. Oh, we love Tomat. They're one of the first ones. I think they're the first distillery to go live with us, even.
Yes, they were.
So we're just fans of Tomat, and we like their stuff, and they're so open to our show that it's a great partnership, really.
Bracket 4, Glendronach 18, Tamdu batch strength, Cavalon Sherry Oak, and the Tomatin PX Distillery.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there was that Tomatin up against those just dominated.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's one reason we do these things double blind too. When I got the Tomatin PX bottle in, I gave you a blind box review of it.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what it was. It was very interesting when now it's in the mix of these 16. I have no idea what I'm trying, and we both pick it out. So, that was nice. I like that.
Yep.
All right.
Championship real quick.
Yeah, I like Chad Adams. Hit the like and subscribe. Damn it. We get another 30 some or 28 or whatever. We'll hit 10,000 before 2019. That'd be nice.
Yep. So I think everybody knows how the championship comes out. Watch it if you haven't.
Tomatin wins.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler.
The Malt Land wants to know if we can get Glen Gary Oak 15 sherry cask. The Malt Land.
Real quick, obviously, when we uploaded, there was some kind of sound glitch that shows up at 3 different points. I heard it too.
Yeah.
Guys are complaining when they got their earbuds on or a headset that it's really like screeching at their ear. So if you haven't watched it, I don't know, look in the comments. Maybe we got to put in the description where those little scratch noises are. Sounds like
a couple people have commented. One, I can pin the comment and put it at the top.
That's a good call.
Tim, real quick, Tim LaRoe wants to know if we regret including the Tomatin. No, not at all.
No, if anything, that was interesting. I knew it was good, but I couldn't pick it out. It was just kind of stood on its own. Scott did much better thinking he was running across it a few times.
All right. Well, Happy New Year. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yeah, it's 3:59. We better go.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Yeah, everybody needs to run over to Aquavite. Just flood in.
Yep, go over to Aquavite's. Well, everybody was probably just watching us getting ready for him to go live anyway.
Right. There you go. Yeah, what are his numbers now going live?
Oh, he's pulling 150, 160 to 200 people.
150,000?
Yep.
Oh, man. What is Jesse saying here?
High prices on whiskey.
And these Van
allocated stuff.
Yeah. Goodness. You can get great bourbon. All right. See you guys.
What do you say?
Well, thank you, Daddy. Scotch it, you Scotch gods.
Slancha, dummies.
What do you say? Say it. Say it. I'm wearing glasses now. You got to respect.